what's his name? Anthony Richardson, yeah. Anthony Richardson wants out of Indianapolis. He ready to go. He's like, man, I need to be starting. I don't like it here. He want to get out. And that opens up a spot for Shedeur. When God closes one door, he opens another. He closes the door for Anthony in Indianapolis, and I do believe that'll open the door for Shedeur. Hopefully Anthony can land in a spot on a team where he's happy to play. If Anthony does leave,
I'm the one that did.
Indianapolis is going to need a quality backup player. Although Shedeur's goal is to eventually be a starter in the NFL.
Magic potion right here.
He'll take what he can get right now. They were talking about how in the meantime and in between time, Shedeur has spent a lot of time in the projects doing outreach programs.
Here's a downhill bet.
And what tripped me out is some of the responses from people on Yahoo in the chat.
Don't skip a single second of this video. And if this story touches your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's begin. You ever get that feeling when two completely separate storylines collide and suddenly everything makes sense? That's exactly what's happening right now with Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis and Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. Anthony Richardson wants out. He's done, he's ready to move on. And that single domino falling could completely rewrite the future of not one but two NFL franchises. Because as soon as Richardson says I'm out, the door swings wide open for Shedeur Sanders. Now let's be real, the Browns have been a walking circus for years. They've gone from unwatchable to barely respectable and right back again in record time. 1 minute Joe Flacco is somehow dragging them into the playoffs, and the next minute they look like a team that doesn't even belong on prime time. And in the middle of all that chaos sits Shedeur, a quarterback with the talent, the leadership, and the pedigree to flip this entire franchise upside down. If only the people in charge weren't too blind to see it. That's what makes this moment so wild. While Cleveland is busy scouting college kids who won't even be draft eligible for another year, the Colts have an opening that's staring them right in the face. Anthony Richardson wants out, and Indy is desperate for a quarterback who can step in and bring stability. Meanwhile, the Browns are hoarding Shedeur like some shiny toy they're too scared to take out of the box. It's madness. Absolute madness. Think about the optics here. The Browns owner is openly admitting they're looking at quarterbacks in the 2026 draft. The coaching staff is out on the road with credentials for Ohio State and LSU games, drooling over Arch Manning and Garrett Nussmeier. And all the while, Shedeur Sanders, the guy who turned Colorado from irrelevant into a national conversation, is sitting third on their depth chart behind Joe Flacco. Third. Tell me how that makes sense. And here's the kicker. The players in Cleveland know it. They see Shedeur every single day in practice. They know his IQ is through the roof. They know he's got the arm talent to make throws half the league starters couldn't dream of making. And yet the front office is acting like he's invisible. You want to talk about creating division in a locker room? This is it. This is how you lose veteran players. This is how you create tension that doesn't go away. Now flip it to the Colts side. This is a team that's been begging for their next franchise quarterback since Andrew Luck walked away. They've cycled through stopgaps, experiments, and short-term fixes, and nothing has stuck. You drop Shedeur Sanders into that situation, suddenly it's not just another rebuild. Suddenly you've got a kid with swagger, intelligence, and proven leadership stepping into Lucas Oil Stadium ready to own that moment. This isn't just another rumor floating around the league. This isn't some lazy hot take. This is the kind of crossroads moment that defines entire careers for Shedeur, for the Colts, and for the Browns, who could end up watching a superstar they had in their own building go rewrite history somewhere else. And that's why I'm fired up. Because this isn't just about who starts week 1 or who's holding a clipboard on the sideline. This is about two franchises standing on opposite ends of a storm, one drowning in dysfunction, the other staring at opportunity, and Shedeur Sanders might just be the lightning bolt that changes everything. So buckle up, because if this trade actually happens, if the Browns really fumble this away and let Shedeur walk, we are talking about a storyline that could explode across the entire NFL. And trust me, this storm is only getting started. Shedeur's spot in this league isn't theory to me anymore, it's evidence. I watched the preseason snaps, the pace, the command, the way the ball jumps off his hand and finds grass the defense forgot about. That's not hype, that's quarterbacking. And you can feel it on the sideline. Veterans don't fake body language. When a young QB is just a guy, vets go quiet, they look away, they wait for the drill to end. When a young QB is real, you see linemen lean in, receivers jog back faster, coaches subconsciously stop blinking. That's what Shedeur brings. Tempo, timing, trust, and yet look at the depth chart. Joe Flacco getting the ceremonial nod, Deshaun Watson locked in by contract gravity, and Shedeur stuck behind it like a traffic jam he didn't cause. It's not football logic, it's politics. We've seen this movie. Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith while everyone in that building knew the fireworks were in the holster. Aaron Rodgers learned behind Favre until the room could no longer pretend. Jalen Hurts was a gadget until he wasn't. Sitting doesn't mean you aren't ready, but sitting when you're obviously ready, that's the insult. Because readiness isn't just arm strength or a box score line, it's pre-snap stillness, it's beating the blitz with your brain, it's resetting your feet after chaos and throwing a strike on 3rd and 8 like the play was drawn that way. That's Shedeur's profile. At Colorado, he didn't just put up numbers, he changed oxygen levels, took a program off life support, and made it headline news. And you can call that media noise if you want, but you don't flip culture without real leadership habits. Detail, routine, a standard teammates want to live up to. That's why the Browns vets are restless. They've seen the meetings, the corrections, the way he owns a mistake before the position coach can. They've watched him move defenders with his eyes, not just his arm. They've seen the second window throws that separate pros from placeholders. So when the suits talk about 2026 evaluations, forgive the locker room for rolling its eyes. Players live in this Sunday, not 2 drafts from now. Players want the guy who helps them win red zone reps on Wednesday, not the name that looks pretty on a future mock. And here's where the hope punches through the frustration. The league has a way of forcing truth onto the field. If you're the best option, the season will drag you into the huddle. A few drives, an injury, a week where the offense needs rhythm more than Rio May. That's all it takes. Because once he gets real snaps, the argument ends. The ball answers. We all see it. The locker room sees it. The fans see it. The only ones pretending not to are the ones counting cap hits and scouting someone else's tomorrow. Keep saying he's 3rd string if that helps you sleep. But every rep tells the same story. He's already better than the plan, and if Cleveland won't act on it, there's another city ready to build around it, which is exactly where this is heading next. The hate Shedeur Sanders is facing right now is flat out ridiculous. You've got trolls all over the internet calling him Colorado hype, like the numbers he put up in Boulder were some kind of illusion. You've got analysts with fancy titles saying he's too soft to handle NFL hits, like he hasn't already stared down blitzes from defenses trying to take his head off every Saturday. And then you've got the Browns' own front office out in public, scouting his so-called replacements, like the kid they drafted in the top 5 a year ago doesn't even exist. Tell me that isn't disrespect. Tell me that doesn't make your blood boil. They doubt his game. They doubt his leadership. They doubt his future. But here's what they can't deny. Shedeur has already been under the brightest lights and delivered. Remember the hype machine around Colorado? It wasn't smoke and mirrors, it was Shedeur dropping 500 yards in his debut. It was comeback drives that had the whole country glued to the TV. It was composure when the stadium was louder than thunder. That's not hype. That's proof. That's resume. And let's not forget the work he's been doing off the field. While Cleveland keeps him on the bench, while the media rips him to shreds, Shedeur's been in the community. Projects, youth programs, outreach. He's not hiding. He's not sulking. He's giving back. That's character. That's leadership. That's the stuff that doesn't show up on a box score but matters more than half the things front offices claim they care about. And the haters. They try to flip it and say it's just for attention. That's the move. Discredit the work. Downplay the impact. Pretend it's fake. But we know better. That's real. That's authentic. That's who this kid is. The pressure is insane. Think about it. Most rookies get 2 or 3 years to develop before the vultures start circling. Shedeur hasn't even gotten a fair shot yet, and the noise is already deafening. Social media calling him overrated. Talk shows saying he's not ready. Reporters digging for sound bites about the Browns looking past him. Every angle is designed to make him look small, to make him question himself. But if you've been watching closely, you know that pressure is fuel. He's not breaking under it. He's sharpening under it. We've seen this before. They doubted Jalen Hurts. They doubted Lamar Jackson. They doubted Josh Allen. Too small, too raw, too inaccurate. And now, those guys are faces of franchises. This is the cycle. This is the game. Tear the young quarterback down before he gets a chance to rise. But some guys are built to take it, and Shedeur Sanders is one of them. So yeah, the critics are loud. The trolls are vicious. The front office looks clueless. But none of that changes the truth. Shedeur Sanders has the game, the leadership, and the future they can't stop. And the more they doubt him, the more explosive it's going to be when he proves them all wrong. Because you can question everything else, but you cannot deny what's coming next. Why does Indianapolis make so much sense for Shedeur Sanders? Because it feels like the stars are lining up for a fresh start. The kind of opportunity quarterbacks dream about. Think about it. Anthony Richardson, the guy who was supposed to be the future of the Colts, is already looking for the exit. That door is closing. And right on the other side of it, a brand new one is swinging wide open for Shedeur. You couldn't script it better. One door closes, another opens. The Colts have been chasing stability ever since Andrew Luck shocked the league and walked away. They've cycled through names, from Phillip Rivers, to Carson Wentz, to Matt Ryan, hoping for a spark that never lasted. lasted. Richardson was supposed to be the answer, but if he's truly ready to move on, the Colts need someone who can step in and command the locker room without hesitation. That's Shedeur Sanders. He's not a band-aid. He's not a rental. He's a face of the franchise type of quarterback who can plant roots and give Indy a real future to believe in. And here's the thing about the Colts. This organization knows how to build around quarterbacks. They've done it before. Peyton Manning made Indianapolis a powerhouse. Andrew Luck kept them competitive until his body gave out. Even in between, they've always valued having that leader under center. This isn't Cleveland, where dysfunction eats away at potential. Indy has a history of saying if we've got a quarterback, we'll give him weapons, we'll protect him, and we'll let him cook. That's exactly what Shedeur needs. Imagine him stepping onto that field at Lucas Oil Stadium. Fresh uniform, fresh start, no baggage, no front office second-guessing his every move. Just a young, confident quarterback with the entire city ready to rally behind him. Pair him with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Give him Michael Pittman Jr. as a big target on the outside. Add Josh Downs in the slot, a guy who thrives on quick timing routes. That's not just a decent offense. That's a platform for Shedeur to showcase his accuracy, his decision-making, and that calm under pressure that has defined him since college. And let's not forget the Colts culture. This is a fan base that shows up. They want someone to believe in again, someone to scream for in primetime, someone who can carry on the tradition of Manning and Luck. Shedeur isn't just a player who can fill that role. He's a brand. He's electricity. He's the type of quarterback who makes every game feel like an event. That's what Indy has been missing, and that's what he brings. So when you stack it all up, it doesn't feel like coincidence. It feels like destiny. Richardson's exit rumors, Cleveland's incompetence, Indy's need for a new leader, all of it converging into the perfect moment. Shedeur Sanders in Indianapolis isn't just a good fit. It's the move that could redefine two franchises at once. And if it happens, if the Colts are bold enough to make it real, you're going to look back and say, yeah, that was the turning point. That was the moment Shedeur Sanders became a franchise quarterback. The future they can't ignore is standing right in front of us, and his name is Shedeur Sanders. This story isn't just about a trade request. It's not just about whether he wears brown and orange or blue and white next season. This is about something bigger. A young quarterback demanding the respect he's already earned, refusing to let his talent rot away on the sideline while lesser players take snaps in his place. This is about a player who knows his worth, who knows his ceiling, and who's willing to bet on himself when the system won't. That's what makes this moment so powerful. Because here's the truth. Shedeur Sanders is going to be a star in this league. Period. Whether Cleveland wakes up and realizes what's sitting on their bench, or whether Indianapolis has the guts to seize the opportunity and hand him the keys to their offense, it doesn't matter. He's going to shine. You can't bury that much talent forever. You can't silence that much leadership. You can't ignore that much belief from teammates and fans who already see the truth. And let's talk about that belief for a second. The locker room knows it. The players practicing with him every day. They've seen the poise, the IQ, the accuracy that separates the guys who play the position from the guys who own it. The fans know it. They've been watching since Colorado. They've seen him take a program on life support and turn it into the talk of the nation. And deep down, even the league knows it. The scouts, the execs, the analysts who pretend to be skeptical, they see the same thing we all do. They just don't want to admit how close we are to the breakout. He's ready. The locker room knows it. The fans know it, and the league's about to find out. That's the repetition that's echoing louder every week. That's the drumbeat building underneath this entire saga. It's not if Shedeur becomes a star, it's when. And when that day comes, when he finally gets his shot to lead a team under the lights on Sunday, all the critics, all the trolls, all the front office executives who looked past him will have no choice but to eat their words. So here's the rallying cry. Don't get lost in the noise. Don't let the headlines about depth charts and draft scouting fool you. You're witnessing the beginning of a story that's going to matter. Whether it's in Cleveland or in Indy, Shedeur Sanders is about to flip the script on an entire league. And when he does, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember when the doubters were loud, when the hate was constant, and when the front offices thought they knew better. And you'll remember that Shedeur Sanders fought through all of it and came out the other side as the quarterback the NFL couldn't ignore. So believe now, stand on it, because history is coming, and Shedeur Sanders is the one carrying it on his shoulders.